Good morning, dear students. Hope you are all doing good. Today we will continue the chapter physical and chemical changes. Okay, so we have seen so many examples of physical and chemical changes and so many day-to-day life instances we have seen about the physical and chemical changes. So next we will continue. So what is rusting of iron? Is it a physical change or chemical change? You already came to know that. So this is a chemical change because here a new substance, a completely new substance is formed. Okay, so iron, rusting of iron is nothing but iron. It reacts with atmospheric oxygen and water content. Water is nothing but humidity present in the atmosphere. Okay, so iron, it reacts with atmospheric oxygen, that is O2. This iron is Fe, ferrum, reacts with the oxygen and water, that is water vapor or humidity in the atmosphere. It reacts and it forms iron oxide or ferrous oxide. Okay, so this is nothing but we call it as a rust. This is very slow process. So it takes months together to rust an iron, isn't it? And the way it is lasted when iron get rusted. Okay, so that's why a completely new substance is formed. So that is the weight is lost. Some chemical changes takes place. So that is called as a chemical reaction. How to prevent this? How to prevent this rusting of iron? Okay. So we are already applying some of the methods to prevent the rusting of iron. That is first one is painting the iron rods, iron grills, iron gates, isn't it? So paints or applying of grease prevents the rusting of iron, isn't it? So painting or greasing of the iron, so it prevents the iron from rusting. Or another we can do, so deposition of chromium or zinc layer on iron. The almost all the parts of a vehicles, motorbikes, cars, etc., so they are coated with the chromium. The iron rods, that is iron sheets or rods, iron materials are coated with the chromium. Okay, so it prevents them from rusting. And applying a coat of zinc on iron, this process is called as galvanization. Okay, so galvanization means applying a zinc layer on iron in order to prevent the rusting of iron. Okay, that process is called as galvanization. So these things we are doing so to prevent the rusting of iron. And one more thing is, so we have seen ships, isn't it? It is always under the water. It is always in the water. So the iron parts present in the ships, it is made up of iron only. So that too, the ocean water or sea water contains salt water, isn't it? So salt induces more, rusting of iron more quickly, more fastly than the normal water does. Salt water rusts the iron parts of the ships so more quickly than the normal water, isn't it? So and some part of the ships are completely dipped in water and some part they are exposed to water vapor, so which makes them getting rust, isn't it? So for that purpose we have to replace the ship parts often, so when it got rusted, isn't it? So that's why it takes very much monetary loss to the world in order to replace those parts of the ships. Okay, so that is so even it is a slow reaction, rusting, because of the more exposure to salt water, it will get rusted faster, and the replacement of those parts costs much, and it leads to a monetary loss to the world. So next, another process of the chemical reaction is crystallization. Okay, so crystallization, what is crystallization? That is the conversion of a solution or a dissolved substance into a crystal form is called as crystallization. So the first step, so usually we do crystallization, isn't it? So evaporation of sea water gives us salt, Evaporation of seawater, so gives us salt. That is normal process by the heating of sunlight. So sometime evaporation takes place and the salt crystals get remained. So but that salt is so impure salt. That salt is an impure salt. We cannot directly use it. We cannot directly use that salt. And shape of that salt also cannot be seen clearly, isn't it? So that crystal form of the salt cannot be seen clearly in its impure form. Okay. So large crystals of these pure substances formed from their solutions. Okay. So when we are going to make the large crystals of the pure substance formed from their solutions, this process is called as crystallization. Okay, when solution is converted into large that is crystal form, so when it is bring to the shape of the crystal form, so that process is called as crystallization process. Okay, so how it is done? So actually it is a chemical, it is a physical change. Actually it is a physical change. Just the solution, so dissolved form is converted into solid form. Liquid form is converted into solid form by the evaporation of water, isn't it? So it is just a physical change. So the crystallization of copper sulfate we will take an example and we will see that. So first, so in this it takes place in step by step. In the first step we will take a beaker containing water. We will take a beaker which contains water and then we will add, okay, so small amount of sulfuric acid in order to dissolve almost all the copper sulfate powders. Okay, so we will take sulfuric acid in the second step and then we start heating of this solution in the beaker. Okay, so when it starts heating, so slowly add copper sulfate powder. How much copper sulfate powder is added? Copper sulfate powder is added so until the solid so get copper sulfate get deposited, so until no more dissolution takes place. ಓಕೆ ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಡಿಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗದೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಉಳಿಯಿತು ಅಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇರಬೇಕು ಕಾಪರ್ ಸಲ್ಫೇಟ್. ಓಕೆ ಸೊ once the copper sulfate unable to dissolve in this solution, so then that is called as a saturated solution. So that is after that, so we should filter this one. We should filter the solution in the beaker. So after the filtration process, it has to be cooled without disturbance. It has to be cooled without disturbance. Then you can observe that. Leave for some time. Then you can observe the crystals. You can observe the crystals in the beaker. If you cannot identify, if you cannot see the crystals, leave some more time. Okay, so to get crystallized, so you can see the deposition of crystals. Crystals in your beaker. So this is how the crystallization is done. So we have, by taking an example of copper sulfate, from like this you can take any crystal, any powder, and you can make the crystals out of it. Okay, so this is the physical change, and rusting of iron is a chemical change. So in the same way, ozone layer is there, isn't it? So ozone layer is there in stratosphere, isn't it? So we have a different layers of atmosphere, that is troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, exosphere and thermosphere, isn't it? There are 5 different layers of atmosphere are there. In stratospheric region, so where aeroplanes fly, above that, so ozone layer is present. So what does ozone, how does ozone helpful to us? What does this ozone is? Ozone is nothing but it is a combination of 3 oxygen atoms. It is a dense cloudy layer, dense air layer, so which is made up of 3 oxygen atoms. Okay, so 3 oxygen atoms. That's why the formula of ozone is O3. Okay, so this ozone, so it is present in the stratosphere and protecting as a shield. So and it is protecting us from the ultraviolet rays of the sun. Okay, So when the sun rays falls, the ultraviolet rays, they are very dangerous rays that directly enters into the earth if this ozone layer is not present, and it may cause skin cancer, skin damages and skin tans, sun tans. Okay, so like that, so it is present between the sun and us, so and act as a protective shield. Okay, so the conversion of the breaking of this ozone layer into the oxygen atoms. So is it a chemical change or a physical change? Here completely it is a chemical change, because new substance is formed and it is breaking down into the new substance. So where again ozone layer formation is, original substance formation is difficult. Okay, so this is what the ozone layer does. So this is a chemical change. And then another process we know, that is photosynthesis, isn't it? Photosynthesis is also a chemical change. How you can say that photosynthesis is a chemical change? So we know that photosynthesis is a process of preparation of food by the plants, so by using the raw materials such as carbon dioxide, water, minerals, and by using sunlight, in the presence of chlorophyll present in the chloroplast, isn't it? Chloroplast of the leaves, and leaves acts as a kitchen and prepares food. So when these carbon dioxide, water, minerals, everything mixes in presence of sunlight, and it is converted into sugar. It is converted into sugar, and oxygen is released out of it. Oxygen is released out of it. Okay, so that is here synthesis process takes place, where so one form of a substance is converted completely into another form. Simple substances are going to convert into complex substances, isn't it? So hence photosynthesis is also can be called as a chemical change or a chemical reaction, where the that is a simple where the chemical reaction taking place. Okay, so these are some of the examples we can quote in our daily life as a physical change and a chemical change.
Start.
Okay, try to write some more examples. Take out some more examples and identify that as a physical or a chemical change which takes place in our daily life. Okay, so let us this chapter completes here. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, let us do the exercise. So in next class we will meet with the next chapter. Thank you.